this meeting to order. Welcome, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one addition to the agenda, and that is clarification on the roof contract for the museum. Do we have a motion to add that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I have no remarks. We are open for public comment for items not on the agenda. Okay. David, wherever you are.
Everything's been going good at the garage. We got the new pickup running. We're gonna be getting toolboxes to put on it. Try to get it set up, make it easier for us. And hopefully January sometime, we'll be getting bids back in for another dump truck. That's about it.
Thank you.
Yep.
We're getting ready for big winter.
I can tell you, if it happens, I can tell you the next day how it went.
That's so kind of you. I appreciate
It's
that.
right down.
Town administrator report.
Okay. There are 2 new phone lines and phones now installed in the old police department office. Once the LP gas tanks have been connected, the emergency management department is all set to move into that space. Annual reports are due to be submitted December 15th. Trash and recycle bids are due December 5th. I won't be here for that meeting. I'm not sure when you want to consider them, but we will have them hopefully by that date. And I will not be in the office next Tuesday, and I will be on vacation the 30th through December 11th.
Good for you. Well deserved.
I will be with you, Andres.
Yep.
Just don't forget to come back.
Good.
Okay, minute approval, November 7th.
I move that we accept the minutes of the regular select board meeting Tuesday, November 7th as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
Motion carries. Warrant. You're up.
I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 10T accounts payable, $94,451.27. 45S payroll, $10,122.90. And 46S payroll, $9,376.15.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jean?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Motion carries. New business, fire department, request to hold breakfast with Santa.
Come on.
Are you gonna be there too?
No.
No?
I don't look like him, do I?
We're actually here this evening representing the Vernon Fire Association. I'm currently the vice president of the Vernon Fire Association, acting as the president. I'm also the lieutenant on the fire department itself. And here tonight as well is
Jason Vodry, EMS Lieutenant and Member at Large on the board for the Fire Association and a member of the Advisory Committee.
My name's Katie Halkett. I'm the secretary and treasurer for the VFAI. I'm also a firefighter on the Vernon Fire Department.
I'm Dave Emery. I've been allowed to be on the association, at least for a period, and also still with the advisory group.
So the reason we wanted to come here tonight was, number one, to formally introduce ourselves, and number two is to kind of get permission from the town to hold our 3 annual events that we do at the department. I've been doing them for several years. Every March, we do a corned beef dinner. Every November, do the ham supper. In December, we do breakfast with Santa. Typically the early part of each month. So we just wanted to get permission from you all to continue to use the fire department space to hold these fundraiser events for the association that benefit the department.
And the fire chief is fine with it?
Yes, Alex has not had a problem with it.
I know. Okay, board? Like, okay, Brandon?
Yeah.
No question? Okay, I'd like motion to allow it for that? You have to explain.
I move that we allow the fire department and the association to use the fire department for their 3 annual events.
Second.
Any further discussion? Anywhere? All those in favor, Michael?
Abstain.
Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
I'm an aye, the motion carries. Thank you for all you do, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you know how much you appreciate it.
We
Okay,
appreciate
David,
it.
Yeah.
we got sand bids.
Those are ugly, David.
They're not bad. If they get down lower.
Mitchell's is quite reasonable, I thought.
Yep.
Wow.
I have no idea. Is there a
Actually,
great
the top
increase?
2 ain't that bad from what I thought they were gonna be, to be honest with you.
You're better off by the yard, though.
No,
Yard and a half per ton, right?
yeah, you get a yard 0.33 per ton.
What's your recommendation, Dave? Where do you wanna go?
Mitchell material.
Pick up or deliver?
Can we do both? It'll be mainly picked up, but if for some reason we get behind, we can let them deliver it.
Deliver makes sense to
But
me.
it'll be more for pickup.
Where are they located?
Northfield,
What are they?
down at the bottom. Bennett Brook Road, off Bennett Brook Road, down around the corner.
All right, board, do you have any more questions?
Outstanding. Cold River's on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like a motion.
I move that we buy sand from Mitchell Material at the road commissioner's preference, delivered or picked up.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Michael?
Aye. Oh, abstain, sorry.
I still have to call you.
I just don't want to skip.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you, David.
Yep.
You always have them done well. 2024 appraisal agreement with George Sansoucy.
I don't think we can be without them.
I would want to be. That's my personal opinion.
Madam Chair, I move we accept the agreement or sign the agreement with Mr. Sansoucy's firm as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
I am aye. Do you have one there? Do you want us to sign one here?
I have
Just pass this for everybody or board, yep.
There's nothing before.
While we're signing, Shelley, you want to handle the town web contract?
Sure. All right, so our website contract is wrapping up
Thank
the end of this month, the beginning of January. So I had contacted Town Web to get a new contract. And so the new contract is, it's around $50 more, I think, throughout the whole year, over the whole year, than last.
Same
Last-
company?
Same company over the last 3 years. So I believe this is a 3-year contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have 2 addendums to this. They are giving credit card readers to towns that are interested at no cost for installation, no cost to the town at all. They use the revenue that comes from the transactions to fund.
So they're not hitting you for a 3% fee?
No,
Sweet.
and there isn't any fee if you don't have so many transactions. I've seen that happen before, where they'll say, you only have like a couple hundred transactions, so you're gonna have to pay $1,000,
Yeah.
$2,000 just to keep it. That's not the case. There is a stipulation with that we need to also change our provider for the online payments to go with HayGov, who is also works in unison with Town Web. So if we have
Yeah,
an
they're
issue,
good.
yeah, they're really good.
They're
If we have
really
an
good.
issue with the online payment system, they can correct it right away.
Yeah.
So we have that. And then there's a second addendum. For $2,000, we can digitize 10 forms, which would be mostly for the town clerk. They could be filled out online, submitted to him directly, and he could also accept payment. And we could also take a few of those forms for the recreation department, as Seth has a lot of forms that he also uses.
Seems like
So
a
it's
lot.
So is that 10 at a time or 10?
10 total
That
over the
would-
whole year.
It'd be like Tim's would be the same all year long, but
Yes,
but
yes.
Seth's are changing.
So I think, I was thinking, I think it was 4 for Seth and then 6 for the town clerk's office.
Ah.
And the town clerk would also be the one who would have the credit card reader, as he has the most transactions. So,
Rec department wouldn't get one?
not a credit card reader. No, I think they're only giving one.
Okay.
Probably be nice to have it at the pool this summer. but-
Yeah, I was just thinking people getting their passes and kids signing up for,
They can also pay online.
yeah.
And this is a easier, more straightforward, I think, company to use.
Yeah, I was just wondering, that's all.
So no, your
No, I
thoughts
think
on-
this sounds like a good, they're a really good company, I know that.
They are, we've had really good luck with
Yeah.
this, town web. And so I don't know.
The HayGov, I was talking about
Oh, the
HayGov.
HayGov, yeah, and there's no subscription. They also, get their funding from the revenue of the transactions. So I don't know what your thoughts are on the,
Madam Chairman, I just wanted to let the board know that we have had an excellent relationship with Town Web over the 3-year life of the current agreement. It's taken people like myself a little bit of a learning curve to make sure that we can add things correctly. And they also have been very kind to us because our website is one of their success stories that they show on their homepage. So I'd like that relationship with them to continue.
I move that we continue the agreement with the add-on.
Is that the $2,000 add-on?
The two addendums.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Question, discussion.
The 2,000 is waived this year,
Okay.
right? Isn't that,
what was that?
oh, that's for the digital forms?
Mm-hmm. They
So that
have,
isn't, it's the,
they have 5 forms for 1,200, however, that would be difficult to split them up between the rec department and the town clerk's office.
so I'm seeing on here though, setup fee of 2,000 is waived.
That's for the credit card reader
Oh, for the credit card.
and the online payments.
Okay,
They're doing that all for free, and we also get a free makeover of the website once every 3 years. We're due for that right now, so we're gonna look at other options
so
and features.
getting the digital forms is makes it a different total.
Yes.
Yeah, the $2,000, the credit card reader gift, all right, is it a gift for the 3 years or only the first year?
Oh, no, it's a gift for
Okay.
us to keep.
Okay.
And it's, like I said, free setup.
Yeah, I didn't know if,
Yeah.
it was a teaser to get into the contract, but
No,
if it's for the
not at
3
all.
years, okay. Thank you.
Tim, do you have the ability to take credit cards now? Do you have a different system?
No, I do not. The current system that we've had running, there's no way for my office to know immediately whether somebody is paid. I mean, it'll register in Cindy's office, but the way it works, it's kind of clunky.
So what would our total be for this contract then?
So it's 1,065. However, that's not adding in, as you see, that the other addendums are not checked off, so they're not added into that figure. One addendum is just to accept the credit card reader. The second was for the digitized 12 forms.
So 3,035 or 3,065?
3,065.
$3,065.
3,065 would be the total.
Okay.
I know it's not clear now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that's why I was getting confused, because things are saying this is included or it's waived, but yeah, it's getting confusing to me. All right, so if we go for that, and then,
Any further discussion? All those in favor, Michael? Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jane?
aye.
I'm an aye, the white motion carries. Annual town report contributes.
Okay, so we have two quotes. We have Minute Man Press in the amount of $1,870. And then we have Case Printing, who we used last year. And the amount of $1,584. I did reach out to 4 or 5 companies, but a lot of them are giving quotes, and I think one of them's Vernon business. So I'm only good for 2.
I move that we go with Case Printing for $1,584 for the printing of the annual town report.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Michael? All those in favor, Tom? Brandon?
Aye.
Aye.
Jane?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I think that's as smooth as that's ever gone, thank you. Historian South School lease agreement.
Okay. So it was brought to my attention by Heather Frost that their agreement with the town, I believe it was a 5-year agreement, expires this December. So I drew up a new contract. I just pretty much just changed the dates. I wanted to get it to you for this meeting, as I won't be at the next meeting. And it's for the same dollar amount. It's $1 a year. So it would be a $5 transaction.
It's a big one. Okay, questions or motion?
You'll be really sorry, but I do have a question.
You would.
Paragraph 11. I don't know what else is done around here, but the liability limit per occurrence for most public domains now is going up to 2 million because the price of insurance is going so high and the co-pays are going so high. So it shouldn't cost them very much to increase that limit to 2 million. And I mean, like a few dollars. If it becomes a financial issue, then, we can, but $1 million doesn't go far.
That is in their budget that the town pays for anyways.
Well, we should kick it to 2 million anyways.
We're gonna pay now, the payroll.
Yeah.
There's a typo in the first sentence.
I didn't see that. I want to.
19. Not on that first sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Lease.
THT.
Doesn't say we pay for it. I know we do, but it doesn't say.
No,
we
but
do.
they were told they could put it in their budget,
Okay.
right?
Well,
It
so-
was that way at one time.
All right, it still should be 2 million.
Oh.
Can we have you take care of this?
Yeah. And I'll send it to the next meeting.
Sounds good.
No worries.
Well, we can approve it. We can approve
We're
it.
really subject to the changes.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to make a motion before we can do it.
So I move we approve the contract with the historians pending, an increase in the liability limits per occurrence to $2 million.
Is there a second?
Second, and we fix the error and let Shelley sign.
Sounds great.
Friendly.
Everyone. Any further discussion? Turn to Michael. All those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
I'm an aye, the motion carries. The roof contract for the museum. We have it. Okay, now roofing LLC. Do we have a motion to sign?
I'm gonna ask you again because Mr. Fennell is doing work on my roof come this Friday. So I don't know if I should
You
abstain.
might have seen
Yeah, all right.
the C contract. That would be perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. And you already did the painting on the truck, so. So we need a motion for this.
I move that we sign the roof contract with Vanilla Roofing for $750.
Second.
And Shelley can sign.
Okay, all those in favor, Michael?
Aye.
Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Abstain.
Jim?
Aye.
The motion carries. Okay, do not believe we need an executive session for anything? Yes, no. So we'll move into the budget session. And the first one is the sheriff's department. Do we have somebody here from the sheriff's department?
Did we invite them?
They were invited. Do we want to wait and put that to the last just in case somebody comes?
We can give them some time.
All right. Library, I know we can find someone for that one.
So you skipping sheriff?
We're gonna put it at the end of the list here.
Okay. Library, okay, jumping really fast here.
We don't really have anything to do with the library budget.
Well, what you do is approve the article
Okay.
for our total. I can tell you how we're gonna spend it, but you can't tell us how to spend it. That's how that works.
I like that.
Because we have our own elected board that makes those decisions. So if you want
I'll
to
just pass it down.
And I'm here this evening on behalf of that board. I would say you can ask me any questions, but I'll probably defer to Jean since she's our expert.
It's not-
I'll have to send it to you too.
Appreciate it.
I have a question on the supplies where you spent, even though it's only 150 over last year, why you didn't adjust it? Because the price will go up.
You know, and then other years we're below that.
Yeah, okay.
So when our bottom line is still okay at the end of the year, I kind of like, I don't want to really increase, you know.
And the same thing with books.
Yeah, I always spend too much on books.
That's okay.
But we also have some contracts that in those contracts, we have to commit to that same amount that we spend for books. So if we go up, we have to stay up, you know, so I just stay where we are, and like I said, at the bottom, it all
Is that
works
for the
out.
grants you get? Is that for grant
It's,
offsets?
no, it's not grants, but it's, like our, courier program and that, you can't, basically, they don't want you just cutting your book budget and depending on, you know, big courier deliveries
Right.
from other libraries, you have to do your part too.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. No, I don't have any questions.
That's good.
What should we spend
I would gladly, take another librarian if you want to do that.
This is,
The trustees of the library would also be very much in support of that idea.
Well, I think that would make sense.
It's overwhelming at times. I'm doing like three jobs really,
You
because
are.
there's no children's librarian.
why don't the trustees put together a package for a 20-hour-a-week permanent part-time position?
We have absolutely been working toward that. So one of the things we've done in the last year is to do some strategic planning, including assessing the town's needs and uses for the library as well as the staff. So we've surveyed both the public and the staff. And that is absolutely one of the things that's come out of our findings is that we very much could use some more staff time. So that is something that we would like to work toward. It didn't get into this year's budget, but we would be very interested in doing that. Is there anything in particular that you would like to see in a package or support or other supporting information?
No, I just think you need to bring forward to, if the trustees so voted, this is what we're gonna pay this person, these are the basic job requirements and the minimum qualifications. It's a prorated benefit package at 20 hours or no benefit package at 20 hours, huh? No benefit.
Well, you would get the holidays and vacation and such.
And just put together what it's gonna cost. You know, you gotta bring in workers' comp piece and all of that, but, and see, maybe we can find space or move some other stuff around or, we can always make it a zero-sum game if we have to, but.
Yeah.
So you can do that before this goes to press you include in your budget.
Libraries are the great equalizers,
I quite agree.
so doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or you're, you have the same rights and access, and it's that's what municipalities are supposed to do.
Absolutely.
So,
And our library is among the best and our staff are incredible and really provide a lot for this town. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Capital Plan Committee.
Oh, all right. It's a big number in here this year. I brought with me Ian and Emily. And my other two members decided vacation was in order for this week, so they're off having fun. So, anyway, so there's a few things on here that are pretty cut and dry and didn't change a lot. Then there's a few things that were either added or we have like things we wanted to talk about. The town van, so the seniors came to us and brought us some proposals. They've been looking at costs for new vans and things. And so the cost has gone up from what was originally in the capital plan. And, the need year in here was last year. And even last year, we hadn't reached the amount that was originally decided in here. But, so the cost has gone up to, the current price is $126,500 if we order the van right now. And we only have 100,000. If we wait, it goes up 5%. So the numbers I put in the projected cost, what we decided was 5%. So most of these things, when we talk to the departments, most of the projected costs are going to go up either 5 to 20%. So we try to incorporate that in the final projected cost so that as we did it going forward, we'd have the right amount.
So that's kind of the projected cost for need year, you're saying?
That
those align?
Yeah, well, the van need year is going to have to be adjusted because obviously we didn't buy it last year.
Yeah.
So that hasn't been changed yet. But yes, that's this cost is, we're not buying it this year, so the cost is gonna go up, 5% or more when we do decide to buy it. So we wanted to make sure that that was in there. So anyway, the van, so they do have some prices for $126,500. And that's for a 14 passenger that includes 2 wheelchair seats, which is something that we don't currently have. It also would not require a CDL, so that would give us more options for drivers. That price also includes some low ride floor suspension and a flat floor. If we don't want those things, we can reduce the cost by about $10,000. I don't exactly know what low ride is versus something else, but apparently there's a $10,000 cost difference there.
Does that include a lift for the wheelchair?
Yes, so that the cost here includes the lift. I had spoken with Shelley a little bit to see if maybe there's a grant to help offset some of the cost, maybe because it'll be outfit for wheelchairs. There may be some ADA grants or something to maybe cover some of the costs. Don't know if we found anything yet.
There was a minimal grant for, I think it was maybe 10,000. But I think we missed the time frame to apply for it, so
Okay.
it would have to be for next year.
Okay. Talked to David about the van. The van currently has, as of the 25th of October, 92,117 miles. It was purchased in 2008 for $54,000. He says we haven't been spending money keeping it on the road other than the normal, oil changes, tires, normal stuff. It could probably last another year or two. The seniors really would like something sooner. They're uncomfortable and hot and, would like a better ride, and we understand their concerns. I did also learn that they take about an average of about 9 trips a month based on their calendar. Some months it's more. The van is available for the preschool and any other municipal things, I've been told. And one of the questions that my committee had was, we don't know what the budget is for the van. We know they have a budget. And then the cost of a van, do we know what, if there was a cost assessment, whether it would make more sense to contract with someone to do that kind of transportation, or is it cheaper for the town to maintain a van and van budget and all of that? I don't know if that's been ever looked at or anything. So that was a question that my committee had regarding the van.
I think they have an activities line item, but other than that, there's no other line item for that.
Oh, okay. We thought there might be pay, because the van driver gets
Oh, I'm just
paid and
looking
things
at
like that.
seniors.
So I think they do have, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
The van's under the highway department, but
I'm
the
not sure
driver
where
is with the
Town van
seniors.
as well.
Right.
So I wasn't sure what that budget was like.
They have van driver and
11,000.
gasoline and van maintenance.
So
So
I do have a $15,000.
15,000?
15,
Oh, 50.
827 with $800 estimated income.
Yeah, so 15K a year.
That's not a very big budget. So I don't know what we want to do with the town van.
Okay.
If we wait 2 years, we have to raise $16,000 a year for the next 2 years to get us up to the right cost. Of course, if we decide to do it this year, then we have to find $26,000 right now. So. And it's a 9 to 18 month window before we get the van. So if we order it now, it'll be 18 months. So we may consider that, that's not exactly how a capital plan's supposed to work. It's not supposed to be, well, next year we'll have a little more and we can go ahead and order it. But if we don't get it for a year, then we will have a little bit more in there if we decide to go that route. Because we'd have to raise 16,000 at least to get us to the 132.
All right.
So that's for the town van. And then we had a question about the 2004 Dump International. I got some of my questions answered. It was purchased in 2021, and there was $1,522 left over. It had not been returned to the capital plan yet, so it will be included in the returned excess funds. So that number down there, the 25, will increase a little bit. But I was also told that the reason it hadn't been returned yet is because they thought they might need it for something. It's my understanding of like the capital plan rules is you can only use the money for that item, and if there's anything left, it has to go to the capital plan. It can't be diverted to a different thing in that department or whatever. So I was told that it was held back because they thought there was gonna be a need, the highway department was gonna need it for something. And now they've said, no, we're not gonna need it, it can go ahead and get returned, but that's 2 years later. So there's a little bit of concern there that might be somebody's impression of how that.
Capital money should never be transitioned into budget money.
Correct.
We also did not have a committee for basically 2 years.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
so I
period
don't
was a
know.
little sketchy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that should probably needs to be clarified with the highway department. So the dump truck, that was answered, so, and then, the other dump truck, the next one that they're looking for now, they've already started the process, they need an additional $5,000, because it was fully funded, but then when they started looking at pricing and whatever, they realized they needed 5,000 more, so I've put that in there, for this year, but I don't know if that's soon enough for the highway department, because that 5,000 won't be appropriated until the next budget year, so that may, they may need 5,000 now from somewhere else, I'm not sure. I imagine they probably have a long turnaround before they get equipment too, I imagine. I still don't have an answer yet about the furnace. The furnace was fully funded. It was supposed to have been purchased, but I haven't gotten an answer as to whether it was or not, so I don't know if that has been done. I'm still waiting on that answer. And then the 2013 dump truck, the price went up, so that's another one that we need to raise a little bit more. There's a 5,000 cost increase, and that's gonna be due in this next year, so. So I had to put that in there. And then we're gonna replace, so then, David gave me a really comprehensive, list of his equipment and added in this dump truck's getting bought this year, so this many years down the road, I'm gonna need to replace it again. So he was really good he gave me a pretty good projection for, down the road. He's got equipment on there 3 times, cause he's like, I replaced it, needs to be replaced, and then it's gonna, but, so one of those is the dump truck, the 20, let's see. There's so many dump trucks, it took me, there's a lot of dump trucks and a lot of fire trucks, I don't know what they all are, but. The 7600. On his list, he says it's gonna get replaced every 10 years. I just didn't know, is that really the standard? Do we replace these things every 10 years? And if so, we're looking at significant money every,
Most fleet vehicles, you don't let them get over 10 years.
Okay.
But Dave is usually pretty good at holding things longer if they are still gonna give them years without it costing the town money, I know.
Okay, so then my next question is, based on capital plan guidelines, if things cost more than $150,000, we're supposed to budget them 15 years out. So do we need to look at, there's quite a few pieces of equipment on here that are we may replace in less time, but cost well over what the capital plan guidelines say.
Well, I don't think you can extend a 10-year life to a 15-year life just for the sake of the budget.
Right, so do
And
we need to?
as good as David does, and he really
Right.
does.
That's why I'm asking, do we need to?
I think you just keep it on a 10-year cycle, and if we can buy a year
Okay.
in the out years,
Okay.
that's great, but
So do we need to change how the capital plan guidelines read?
yeah, that
That.
sounds like it needs
So
an
that's a
amendment.
whole nother, proposal.
Yeah.
for another day, okay?
Yeah, town meeting would have, that's right, would have to, right.
So we'll have to work on, my committee will work on, I guess, how that needs to look.
And maybe if you could put like truck A, truck B, truck C, so that we know that 2010 becomes a 2021, you know?
Yes,
It might be easier.
and I'm sure David could look at them and go, I know exactly which
Yeah.
truck and all of that, but I had to go back numerous times and check myself to make sure I was remembering the right dump truck for what.
Yeah.
So there's several dump trucks on here that are all sort of in that same position. You'll see that there's some that have been added, and there's well over $10,000 being asked every year. That's because they're on like a 10-year cycle. So, and some of them we don't have to start, raising money quite yet. And then there's something that's not on here that I don't have an answer about. It's my understanding that the town purchased a grader several years ago for the 3 miles of dirt road we have. That's not on here as something that needs to be replaced at some point, and I wonder, should it be? And then,
The town owns a grader, it's an old grader.
Yeah, but didn't
It's-
Jim used to have it on here?
It used to be on there, I don't know why it's not on there.
Probably
It
because
was
you
on there for
decided at
years.
some point you're not gonna buy
It's
them.
just like fire
That
department rescue
was a
trucks missing too.
decision, as I recall, that we would not be buying.
Yeah,
At the
yeah, it's
same-
cheaper to contract
It
for
was
3 miles of dirt road
That's-
out.
so that was our
That's
question. Is it cheaper for the town to contract someone to do those 3 miles of road than pay $400,000 for a grader? So
That's what
that
David
answers our
proposed.
question. That was,
Yeah.
David proposed that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay. And that was one of our questions as a committee, so perfect. We're on the
Everybody
same
Yeah.
have
page
it
with that.
someplace so the
Wish you
next
could add a
meeting
10th of a
knows.
mile to those dirt roads, just
So-
saying.
Yeah, we didn't know if it would make more sense to just pave them over or have someone else come in and grade them for a few $100 a year, $1,000 a year.
You could pay them.
Just leave them on the road. Have Guilford, yes, Linda.
The problem that we had when we talked about that was everybody's using their grader at the same time.
Right.
And it is the main road that needs to be graded is the one that's right near Sansoucy, Broad Brook Road, that goes into Guilford.
Yeah.
And there are other roads in town that are also graded, but that's the number one pass-through road. And Guilford, unless you could contract with Guilford to have them keep coming over and we'll pay them to do cause they do a certain part and we do a certain part. That was the problem that David had, was that everybody's gonna need to grade at the same time, and what do we do about Broad Brook?
Yeah, we rent all of our graders out to municipalities all around.
Right.
Great.
We had none available this year because I had them all.
It was your problem, your fault.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So that's all the highway department, unless anyone has questions about anything that I didn't bring up specifically. Okay, the fire department, another bunch of trucks that mean nothing to me. So the Medtronic Life Pack, I left it on there only so that you guys know they're all set with that. They're not gonna replace the ones we have, so that is gonna get taken off. They bought what we had, apparently it's something they're not gonna need anymore, cause the technology or something has changed, so it's not something they need anymore. So that is gonna get removed. The brush truck, we had some questions. Apparently my notes didn't make it on here. But, cause it looks like we spent more than was actually in the budget for the brush truck, but apparently ARPA funds, I was
Yes.
told
Yeah,
ARPA
was
funds
offset.
got used, so that is also gonna come off of here. And then,
So,
Well, it's not gonna.
well, it's not, I was just gonna say, do you have to
Gonna
stop
add
planning
like
for the
10
next
years.
one?
yeah, I think it's already down here somewhere, I
Okay,
think.
It's not, and that's why the
Okay.
rescue truck's not as well.
Okay,
And the rescue truck's been already owned for a few years,
okay,
and those you have to get with the department, find out their
Okay.
their guidelines, direct the years for
Okay.
theirs.
Well, that's not something he brought up to us when we met with him, so we'll circle back around. All right, so the brush truck that's on here will be removed. I did have a question about, so with the brush truck, when it was purchased, only $57,288 was used out of the capital fund, and there was $65,000, so there was a balance of $7,711. Does that get added back in as our excess funds?
Should go back to ARPA.
Or,
Are they, because they didn't buy the vehicle complete, they're buying everything, they're still buying the stuff to put it together, so they're probably not done.
okay.
Because they're building their own truck instead of spending twice as much to have somebody
So
build
that
it for
should,
you.
so really, the brush truck needs to stay on here and I just
It's-
need to adjust the available balance?
So you can get with the treasurer to find out where they're at.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she gave me, so.
We're still outfitting it.
And these
Yes.
are,
It's a long
and the
process.
questions I have today are questions I haven't gotten answers to.
But yeah, they're
So I
still
got
up-
partial
they're still upfitting
answers
it.
on some of these things,
They
and
just
some I got no
s-
answers.
Just got stickers on it yesterday, they
Okay.
gotta put the pumps together.
Alright. Okay, so brush truck, alright. There's a few things, so there's a few things that we're still waiting on with the fire department for estimates. The roof is one of them. It's been on the capital plan for a couple years, waiting on the chief's estimate, so I'm not sure what the holdup is getting that estimate. He told us once again, he's getting an estimate. But we still, and I know there was some, confusion with the fire department for a little bit and some disorganization, so I don't know how long we wait to get that, that amount, so that we can properly account for it in here. The painting and trim is something that's being added, I believe, this year. And he's supposed to get an estimated cost for that too, so that doesn't show an amount, because I don't have an
Okay.
amount yet. And that's something that he said needs to be done. And it's possible that that may not be $10,000, it may be under that, so then it may not go on here at all, we just don't know. A big thing that the fire department needs, they need new radios. The radios they have do not connect with what the new communication systems are gonna be, so they can't communicate with the other radios that the police and other folks are using, so they have to upgrade our radios.
Is that,
They just got
They
radios.
just got radios.
6 months ago.
Bottom of our money, so I'll talk to Chief about that.
We just talked to him in the last 2 or 3
I'll
weeks,
at
so
least talk about
he
this.
said we need 20 of them. At a cost of $120,000.
Did we just buy 20?
I think we bought 20,
Yeah, we
yeah.
just bought 20.
Okay,
I'll
well,
talk to him, maybe it's
so maybe, yeah,
We just got them programmed and everything. Which
Okay.
is a separate expense.
so that I guess
Unless
is still
it's
an
the
outstanding
vehicle.
question.
They wouldn't need
But
the
they wouldn't
20
be
for the
20.
vehicles.
Right.
No, that was my question. They needed the vehicles now upgraded, but it wouldn't be 20. So they didn't have that many vehicles.
Okay,
Alright, so we just need some answers on that. ARPA. Okay. Alright, here's the big one.
Yikes.
This one's hard to swallow. We need a tanker truck. Is that right? Is it a tanker truck? Yes, tanker one pumper truck, the 1994, needs to be replaced. $850,000 if we order it right now, which we don't have the money in here. We only have not very much. We only have what, 400,000 I think for this one? Nope.
20.
Yeah, 420. If we order it right now, 18-month turnaround,
Where are we bonded? We haven't bonded since Yankee came in.
well, Yankee's not here anymore.
all right, so $850,000 if we order it now, 18-month turnaround, and we have to give them 50% down, which we don't even have in the capital plan. If we wait till January 1st of 2023, so 6 weeks, it goes up 20%.
Yep.
23 or 24.
23, or 24, sorry, yes.
Okay,
So January, like, the
Oh,
new
okay,
year,
okay.
6 weeks from now, sorry.
that's okay.
It goes up, like I said, 20%, so that's where we're looking at $1 million, and then who knows after that.
Fire trucks.
That is really the item that has increased the capital plan a lot. But there's some questions about this truck that we have that came up in the discussion with the fire chief. The truck is gonna get sold to another fire department who's going to use it for 15 more years. Why can't we use it for 15 more years? What we were told was that the truck we have doesn't have some pump or holding capacity or needs some, I'm hoping Michael knows what I'm talking about.
It doesn't have a dump pod. In the back, you have to have a huge thing to just dump the water into a tank, and ours does not have that, so therefore it can't be classified as a tanker.
Okay. So, I don't know what we wanna do. But that's a big, I don't know. So we don't necessarily have any specific recommendations other than just lots of questions about like, can we use it for 15 more years? And then how is this getting funded? Cause I don't know how we ask the town to fund, you know, I don't know how we wanna handle this.
Yeah, we used to get rid of fire trucks to smaller communities too. Or other communities, you know, it depends on your call run, it depends on when you're going out to do other things. That pumper is that what pumps pool water to?
That's the tanker, that's what carries
Yeah.
all the water.
Yeah,
That's what gets called for everything outside of.
right.
Yeah.
Because it holds the most water.
No, I'm not saying it couldn't be held for some more time, I'm not suggesting I disagree with you, but
Tanker, don't say.
30 years is about
It's a
right.
pumper tanker, but
It's just a question we
Yeah,
have.
it's a good
Given this
question.
amount of money, like, and, you know,
It's
So-
it's a real good question.
we don't really have any.
I can't imagine what a ladder truck would go for.
What the money taxes?
So,
All right,
that could be a whole meeting on itself.
Yeah.
Bring the chief in and have him justify the
Yeah.
equipment.
yeah. That's a good idea, yeah.
anyway,
Sorry, chief.
and then the firehouse furnace, I just need an estimate to get that into here. It's not due yet, it won't be due probably for at least 10 more years, but given that we're talking it may be due in 10 years, we wanna make sure we get that estimate so that we can budget for it properly. So air packs, he wants to replace them at a rate of about 2 a year. So it's about $15,000 a year, but this is gonna be probably a cost that's like ongoing forever, like every year. We have so many, and if we replace 2 a year, by the time we get to the end, we'll start over. And it's about 15,000 a year, so it may, and I don't know how we handle things that need to be on the capital plan indefinitely like that. I mean, I put yearly, cause the year need's gonna be every year forever, so I don't know if that then becomes a budget item,
Doesn't sound like it.
or if that's a capital plan item.
That's a very good question.
So that is a question I think that needs to be answered.
I guess we have to do some.
2 a year.
Yeah, so that's why it says yearly in here.
Yeah.
because-
You can have ongoing capital expenses that go on infinitum, it's still a capital expense.
Over 10,000.
And you're capitalizing it over a period of time, so. It's not wrong that you may have
Yeah, I mean, you
a
do that, or
long-standing
you're
line item to do that.
Gonna do what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Or you bring by 30 at once.
Yeah, but then they all expire at once and you don't have
And
any.
that was the
That's why
chief's
he's trying to
concern.
prevent-
Right,
Right, and
right.
that's what the chief said. He said he feels like the best plan is to spread them out so
Yes.
that we're not trying to replace all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, one goes bad or half of them, it makes sure that we have. So his plan makes sense. We just weren't sure, is it appropriate to put something in there indefinitely?
It's okay, yeah, it's an okay thing.
Alright. So that's everything for the fire department. It gets easier after this.
Promise?
I promise Tim does not need anything that's nearly that expensive. Actually, the only thing I wanted to talk about was, for the town office, was the generator. I wanted to leave it in here for publication in the town report, the generator, so that the townspeople could see. We got it, we didn't need all your money, we used some other funds, cause we got a grant and stuff, so it's a pretty big expense, so I thought it might be,
That's
since
a good
we
idea.
just did it,
Yeah,
and folks were seeing the work outside, and so I wanted to, we thought we should just leave that in there.
excellent, yeah, it's a good idea.
But then I did have a question, so after we paid for it, there was evidently $13,750 left in this fund, because we only took $27,500 out of the capital plan. So, does that need to get added back into excessive funds? Cindy did not include that.
The 27.5.
The $27,500 was the cost of what
That
was
was-
paid for the generator,
that
and
was-
then there was $13,750 left.
The whole project was 109,000.
Okay, well, according to what Cindy gave me,
That's
There
what
was-
that's probably what's been paid for at this point. They still haven't connected the tanks to the generator.
so there's still more,
So it's
okay,
ongoing.
okay,
It should
so
be December
this is
1st.
still coming out, okay, thank you. Alright, so that answers that question, thank you. So that's all I had for the town offices. A couple of the rec department is one of them, asked about their driveways and stuff, but isn't that part of like a different fund altogether? That's not considered capital planned expense, right? Driveways and parking lots and stuff.
We have a parking lot fund.
Those are in that other fund, so they don't need to go in.
We do an article every year for that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we do an article every year for that, to maintain it.
That's what we thought.
Blow your
Yeah.
mind.
Down parking lot.
You get two
$388 an hour.
These people. Yeah.
It's cheaper for us to.
There's also a few things on here that we are, that Shelley had talked to me about getting a grant. There's a energy efficient grant that we can get for quite a bit of money. So Shelley's been working on getting assessments for a bunch of things. So there's a bunch of things on here with the town office and the rec department that I wrote in the comments that there's a possible grant, so that we know that these things, we're gonna fund them for now, but we may not have to later. We may be able to, take those off and make adjustments, because we're hoping to get this grant to cover a whole bunch of things that were in the engineer's report and some of the other things. So, in the bathlight house lighting at the rec department and some of the lights outside here, the lights inside, some of the flooring and some other things are all hopefully gonna maybe get covered by this grant, so if we can get it, so.
Excellent.
But that's something that we're not gonna know for a while, so it's all in here, maybe next year we'll be able to cross those off, yes. The library didn't need anything that was over $10,000, so there's no items on here.
No really big expensive book you want?
I keep hearing new shelving and I said, yeah, I'm gone. I'm not moving all these books. There's only 20,000 of them,
So that's the capital plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is an amazing report.
So we'll probably have to come back and revamp some of it after we get some of these things answered. We did have some questions about the ER capital fund. the capital emergency reserve fund. As the capital plan committee, we were under the understanding that we are supposed to just find out, was it used for anything, how much, and also to make sure that it ends up back in that department's budget so that that money gets replaced.
Right.
We asked for that information, and we were essentially told it was none of our business. And I do have that in writing if you would like to see it. So we were not provided that information. We were told it is none of our business. So,
That's, I don't know, and maybe that was said because that's a different situation than this here.
I asked, separately, I asked, I said, I need this information for the capital plan, I need this information for, and I was given answers to many of my questions. That particular question, I was told it was not our business. And there are a few things that I brought up today that I did ask, and I did not get answers. So, and we do have some concern about the interest and gains, but I think we may be able to sort those out at a meeting that we're scheduled to have later.
The select board is working really hard on that right now to get that straightened around.
So I understand there'll be a meeting in December that hopefully those questions, so we're not gonna worry about those today. But, so I don't know if you guys have
This is great,
questions.
thank you
This
very
balance
much.
you got right out of the town report, I'm assuming, the 630 balance, 6/30/2023. So there's a need year column, there's a balance column.
That balance came from Cindy. So that was one of the things
Okay.
I asked her. One of the things that doesn't match actually is when I look at what the balance should be based on the history of the capital plan, and like this year it had this much, we added this much. I came up with a different number than what Cindy gave me. I did ask her for clarification and said, hey, here's the number I came up with. Somewhere my math is off. Can you help me tell me what the individual balances are? And that's when she sent me this. So I updated it based on this.
Good.
But
Good to
this
know.
doesn't necessarily match with the numbers that we had last year in the town report.
Because this
So I'm not
total
sure
should be
where,
the total in the capital fund, correct? This,
it should be unless there may be some like, if you look in the actual bank account, there may be a difference because maybe there was some interest, although it
we just
doesn't
have a
look
very
like we
different
had.
number on that sheet that Cindy gave us here a month or so.
Right.
Yeah, so the sheet that I
Like,
got from
capital fund on
Cindy,
Cindy's sheet has
yeah,
896,753.
the one that I just got this week from her is 1,889,000,
So, yeah, so that,
and it doesn't match,
it doesn't match.
correct. So,
Okay.
I don't know why, and I didn't get anything that helped me clarify why that isn't matching, so.
Thank you. I'd like to add something when you're considering whether you're going to fund the van or not. If you wait to fund it and don't order it, the admissions is going to be changing.
That's true too.
So it'll be even more costly because the emissions will be harder. Then we also got from both of the people who put in information for us that they would consider giving us a trade-in for the bus. Both of them want pictures inside, outside, underneath, and all the records. So we would have some money from a trade-in. The bus has been kept in very good condition. It looks good. It's not destroyed or anything inside. So the trade-in should be a decent trade-in. What it would be, nobody would be able to tell me till they saw all of that and know what we're gonna be ordering. As far as the mow-ride thing, that is like a heavy-duty suspension in a truck compared to a regular suspension in a truck. And it can be ordered without the mow-ride or it can be ordered with it.
Thank you. Okay, other public safety.
Shelley, these books are divine. Thank
I
you.
love them. So the only thing that increased on here was rescue. Am I correct?
Yeah, how long's the health officer been getting 2,500? Just saying.
He's worth it.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's more expensive to do business now. So.
It is worth it. Make a recommendation.
Okay, when it's time.
Okay.
You know, if the EOC's building expenses are gonna go down, since they're not gonna be paying for their own electricity and all that. So we should ask Dave to look into that. We could save a bunch of money there, it's not heating it, or in the heated building.
Yeah.
And just for clarification, in case somebody read this the same way I did the first time, Rescue's monthly payment, that's the annual payment, correct? Instead of a $700,000 a year payment.
They'll be having a problem.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay then.
Okay.
Let me go back and react on these at some point.
And we'll go to the sheriff now. He's not here, so. Where did he go?
They didn't even email us a budget or anything?
It's in there, isn't it?
Nope.
Well, it's under the select board
Select board, I
budget,
think,
and it's
yeah.
contracted.
Number 14.
Contracted, something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing from.
Nothing from the sheriff.
No.
There's no narrative of the budget.
Just the figure.
What was it, 108?
108.
Well, you know, petroleum's down right now.
It's not gonna stay down.
Now, it will at least till November.
Like, I mean, we just signed a contract with them. Is that the same
Yearly.
price that's in here?
It's
I
yearly.
haven't even found them yet.
Number
Number 14. Under tab 14.
Oh,
Oh, I'm on
There it is.
4, okay. Okay.
Go ahead, Tom.
I don't know if we're getting the bang for our buck from the sheriff's department.
There, what day?
I'll be the skunk in the garden party. I don't know what the answer is. I just don't see $110,000 worth of service.
Well, not without more of an explanation than just this one line item in the binder. You know, you'd think the sheriff would speak to it.
Well, he did last year, and he'll come during, you know, he'll end up showing up. He's good, he's a good presenter too. But
When we get the printout, was it quarterly now?
I can print out the STARS report.
Okay.
well, it's usually in the warrant.
yeah, and there's a lot more going on in town than we probably all realize too.
That's it too. And I was gonna say that I think things have changed because I've seen them, it used to be everybody knew their schedule. Because at that point, when they were first here, that was the schedule that's the then select board wanted. And everybody knew it. I see them weekend evenings or some other evening
Yeah,
or
the
just
past
all
month or two,
kinds
it's
of.
changed. Something has changed in the
It
past month
has
or
very
two.
much changed, I
Maybe
think.
he's been able to hire him.
Well, the other thing that first,
At the end of the fiscal year, they're catching up on all their hours.
well, that first, what was it, neighborhood watch meeting we had, they have a new, I don't know if he's a captain or lieutenant, but who's ever in charge of the scheduling
Right.
of the deputies. They have a new one of those, and apparently the old one had this theory of the same person, the same time, the same
Yeah.
town, and there's connection with the town, and he's just saying, with the time he has, he feels like it's more beneficial to have different deputies here at different times, and that shakes things up a bit. So I think that could be some of the change as well, just hearing him talk to the neighborhood.
And it's really true, because I'll look and I'll go,
Yeah.
I've never seen that person before, you know,
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. I just always feel like I'm spending a lot of money for, and again, there's a lot of stuff I don't know that's going on, that they're doing, but,
And the other thing, I don't know, weren't they talking about like a multi-town
they were gonna get on that
So
this
like
year.
Vernon Guilford wanted full-time, and they could,
There was a meeting, but I missed it. I had a family emergency. So, yeah.
Well, there hasn't been a follow-up, right?
I think he's approaching the legislature right now to try to see if he can get something. He already has a pilot program pretty much inked out. It piggybacks on the animal control officer
Yeah.
thing. He did send some sort of report along with the minutes from the annual meeting of the animal control officer, all the towns.
Yeah.
So I can send that to you guys.
All right.
That was like back in April.
Yeah, I'm not opposed
Some information.
to the 110,000, because I know we can't do anything about it really. I just would like to have some more information, perhaps more frequently from the sheriff's department.
I'd like to see them on our town roads more than 142.
I haven't seen him on Tyler Hill for a while.
I've seen one.
I always see them parked doing radar on 142 and never doing radar on town roads. They drive the town roads, yes, but all their radar is on
Yeah,
the
they used
state
to run
road.
radar on Tyler Hill. They used to park right in on Lillis pasture, because they could sneak, coming from Franklin, but coming down the hill, and especially in the summer.
Yeah, we just don't get reimbursement for anything.
Now, it says we have estimated income of 2,000. Is there a way to find out how much we do get back from them?
Yeah.
I'd like to know that.
So, I almost hate to say it, but things seem like they've been a little quieter, but when we had a lot going on, I felt like a lot of situations were solved. There was conclusions
Mhm.
There was.
to the things, the crimes and that had happened. And that really had stuck with me, especially when you hear the cry, they don't do anything. Well, I didn't feel that was the case,
No.
you know?
And I've heard town residents have said, they must be doing something, because I'm not hearing so much going,
Well, exactly.
because we
It's,
don't want to start.
you know. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is subject to the town. so-
Yeah, no, it's fine. As I said, I'd like to have more information more frequently. I guess that's the answer.
Well, I feel like that, their report is in,
The STARS report.
it's in the warrants,
Yeah.
like often. Cause I'll skim through it sometimes.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a once a month. I could print them all off and you guys can come through. if you're
We used
interested.
to, and I really feel like that's too many trees going down.
Kind of like
Because-
whatever those things are, they're in the back every time.
Oh, yeah, the first light
Well, how
stuff.
about if I do this, I'll print them off and then I'll scan them and email them, and then you can look at them at your leisure. And we won't be killing any.
these are the reports of what they've done for the month, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Everything
they're-
is taken
It's,
away.
how many B&Es, how many, it's like the
It's
federal.
a daily report.
What they
Federal
did
is-
each
What
day.
roads they patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who was on duty, what
Yeah.
the time was, and
Okay.
Okay. Well, other than that, our next meeting is December 5th,
Are we singing Christmas carols?
if you're ready to leave them.
Excellent.
Did you have something you wanted to bring up, Jim?
Just wanted to find out who we were gonna have on the 28th. Michael? Excellent.
Yeah, 5:30, right?
Oh,
4.
what for?
4 now, Michael.
November 28th.
we were
before.
gonna originally do 5, but it's dark, you know.
Oh, that's
I'd like to
true.
get a look at it. I'll take videos for the board.
That'd be nice.
Sorry, the capital plan had a request that I forgot to
Oh, okay, good.
mention. On December 5th, can Cindy be present as well?
We can
Yeah, I
ask
think she
her.
needs to be. That's what Gordon's coming.
Because, right, and we have a ton of questions. It may be easier if we're just all together
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because our questions, I think, overlap each other.
yeah.
Sure.
So we just wanted to ask.
Yeah, again, I wanna thank you for that. That
No,
was,
that's great.
Yes,
that was
excellent.
great.
Well, I had a very good, hardworking committee, so,
Great.
which has been refreshing.
I'm glad
Yes.
Sam was on it too. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's non-debatable. All those in favor, Michael? Brandon?
Aye.
Tom?
Yep.
Jim? Aye. We are out of here, folks.